All right, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the first in a series of webinars that we're going to be hosting, that Park Bank is going to be hosting. The first of which is, as you're seeing, the tips for buying a home in 2022. We really want to focus our efforts in these webinars to help people that are considering buying, selling, or building a home, help them understand the landscape that's going on and provide them some benefits and tips that we think are really helpful to help their home ownership journey. Just a couple of the preliminaries. Please send us your questions throughout the webinar using the Q&A button on the bottom of your screen. Myself and the other presenters will do our best to answer your questions. We'll try to get as many of those as we can. So our agenda is really simple today. Myself and the other presenters will make our brief introductions. Then we want to walk through just a very broad overview of navigating the home buyer's path and things that we think are really critical in 2022 if you're on the path to buying a new home. And then lastly, the question and answers. I also want to note that the webinar is being recorded and we're going to make it available on our website and YouTube in the coming days. So firstly, myself, my name is Trent Sveom. I'm the Senior Vice President of Residential and Retail Lending here at Park Bank. I've had the honor of working for the organization for just over 15 years and leading the mortgage team for the last 12 of those. And as you see in the bio, I think one of the things that I and the team really strive for are finding ways to make sure that your experience is exemplary in the marketplace. And hopefully you'll see that as we talk through how we help buyers get into homes in 2022 and beyond. I'll turn it over to Megan.
Thanks, Trent, and hello, everyone. My name's Megan. I've been working as a mortgage lender for the past 20 years. 10 of that was in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I'm originally from, and 10 of that has been here in Madison, with the last 3 at Park Bank. I love it here. I'm a happy transplant. My favorite part of my job is helping people grow their own roots in their houses, and a big part of that is Amy.
Thanks, Megan. My name's Amy Lessing. I am a realtor at First Weber in Middleton. I've been with First Weber my entire real estate career, which has been a little over 9 years. I joined my parents in real estate. My mom was in it, has been still in it for over 30 years now. So we and another agent, Sarah, formed a great team, and our focus is really on helping both buyers, sellers, and developers, whatever the need is for residential lending, or residential real estate. I am happy to help you, and then we partner with Park Bank for all of the lending needs of our clients.
Thanks, Amy. I want to start a little by talking about what the process looks like from start to finish. Deciding you want to buy your own home is amazing and scary and exciting. What your lender will do, whether you call or email or text or apply online, is start with a conversation about what is most important to you and make sure that your expectations for home price and monthly payment match. The most important thing to remember is that you don't have to know all of the things. It's critical that you choose a good lender and a good realtor, and we will guide you through each step of the process. Whether that means you're ready now or you're planning for the future, we want to support you through all of that. From the moment you decide you might want to buy a house or you just want to see what's possible, your lender is going to make sure that you can qualify for the loan based on the terms that you want, like down payment and price. That could be that you say you want to pay no more than $2,000 per month, for example, and we can work up a purchase price range from there. If you already have a house in mind or a price range that you want to be in, we can work through monthly payments and down payment options based on that specific price range. Or maybe you come in and you say, I have $20,000, what can I do with that? We can work you through all of those options. In this market especially, a good lender is going to go way beyond just handing you a pre-approval letter, though, and sending you out into the wild with your realtor to write offers. It really is going to require getting your offer accepted, requires collaboration with your realtor. What that means is answering your calls when you're out looking at homes on the nights and weekends, so we can pull current interest rate and property tax info and we'll run different purchase price and down payment scenarios based on each of the possible offer outcomes that your realtor would expect for each property. The most important thing that we want to do is over prepare for every possible thing so that there are no surprises for you. Once you have your offer accepted, your team is going to guide you through the final approval process and any property related items like home inspection, insurance, and appraisal. The closing day is our favorite day because it means that you get your keys and all the hard work getting there is realized. And going through some of the terminology that you hear, a pre-qual or a pre-qualification letter just means that we've had that initial conversation about your situation. We've at least talked about your income and employment and where the down payment money is coming from, and we've run a credit report. And it means that everything sounds fine. It really is a critical step, but it really is just the first step in the process. Ultimately, you want to be fully pre-approved. What that means is that we've done this pre-qualification conversation, but we've also reviewed your documentation like pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, W-2s, and an underwriter has confirmed that you meet the guidelines of the program and the loan that you're requesting. What it means to a seller is that you've done all of your homework. You know what you can afford. The bank agrees that you can afford on that, so that when you submit an offer on the house, the likelihood of any issues coming up are very slim. When a seller is reviewing offers, they're going to look and see a pre-approval letter compared to a pre-qualification. That pre-approval letter is going to hold a lot more weight because it means that all the questions are answered. There's a lot fewer things that could come up and cause problems after the offer is accepted. So it's very critical that we do that work up front to prepare you properly.
Thank you, Megan. With everything you just heard, and there's a lot going on there, but we try to keep it very simple. We like to consolidate it and just to say, what's your plan? So it's starting with, your affordability question, getting you through the different pre-stages. So we know we have that you're in a position that we're making a commitment to back you in that buying. And that's why that plan is so critical. It's not just us issuing a piece of paper and saying, best luck shopping for your home. We really want to stay engaged. And that's what you're hearing. And you'll hear more from the realtor side, that the collaboration between you as the client, us as the lender, and the realtor as your agent is so critical in this environment because it's so competitive. One of the conversations we like to have early on in those pre's is knowing what your stretch number is. So you might start with, here's what we are willing to pay or would like to pay from budget reasons. And we're by no means trying to drive you into a situation that stretches your budget to the point that your household ownership becomes unaffordable. Well, what we are seeing is, hey, you might have to offer more for the house that you want to get in the competitive situation. And knowing that number going into it, that, hey, if the right thing lines up, we're willing to go to this. That allows your lender to have different scenarios available and different tools that we have available to us to help you. So when we talk about stretch number, it's not that we're trying to put you into something that you might not want, but it's simply for us to understand that if the right place comes along, here's what we could do if that is the property we want to buy. The other thing you're going to hear is that agility. You heard Megan mention it, that when we do send you out the door with a letter and you're actively shopping and we're talking, that agility to be able to say, we know those two variables that you're willing to go as high as this, that type of agility allows your banker and realtor to help you navigate the contract phase. The other thing we like to do is a little bit old-fashioned. We employ the best technology, but we also think just establishing a weekly touch point is really critical. It allows us to follow up, look at the offers that have been made, lost, and use that as a guide to your plan. Rates are constantly moving, so we want to make sure we incorporate that conversation into your analysis. Revisit, are the goals realistic to the market? Do we need to look at this differently? Are there different properties? Is there different price points? Really just maintaining a continuity that helps you support your home ownership journey, and then making those adjustments necessary. So I'll turn it back to Megan.
Thanks, Trent. There are a lot of people involved in the home buying process, but the most important thing for you to remember that your job is to choose a great lender and a great realtor. We will coordinate the rest of the pieces for you. At Park Bank, that involves the mortgage advisor and client engagement specialist. We're going to work together with the processor to move your loan through the loan steps efficiently and quickly. And we're going to coordinate getting your paperwork reviewed by the underwriter to determine that you meet the guidelines for the program that you're requesting. And it is important to note that while your lender will order the appraisal for you, the appraiser does not work for your bank. The appraiser is truly going to give you an independent third-party opinion of the value on that house.
So the rest of the team that is involved in helping you find your new home is a realtor. And a realtor is there to represent your best interest throughout the entire transaction. So whether that's you looking for a condo, looking to build a home, or buy an existing home, our job is to help you from start to finish through that process. But step one is talking to the lender and making sure that you're comfortable with those different price points. From there, we can set up a search and figure out what you're looking for and how to move forward. Within the transaction, there's a couple different team members along with me or another realtor and Park Bank. There's also a home inspector. There's also the insurance agent for your home and the title and closing company. All of us work together so we can get the house that you want under contract and closed for you. So there's a couple different roles that realtors can play. Anytime that a buyer looks at a house that's listed on the MLS, which is the multiple listing service where all of the listings are, they have a representative for their side of the transaction, and that's called a listing agent or the seller's agent. And the buyer's agent and the seller's agent work together throughout the entire process. It's a team effort to make sure that all parties end up at that closing table. Our job as the buyer's agent is to help you navigate all the different factors that are within those contracts and make sure that you're comfortable with them. And that includes the finance piece of it and making sure that you really understand what that looks like on your day-to-day level. So what are you going to be paying on a monthly basis? And we draft these offers and these contingencies to reflect what you're comfortable with. We use the Park Bank pre-approval to establish a search criteria. So we set you up on a customized home search. So you get notified as soon as a home comes on the market that meets your search criteria. It also helps when we submit an offer because a Park Bank pre-approval has a lot of clout. It's been underwritten, and sellers, and especially sellers agents, really understand that this particular bank, they will get us to the closing table. And that is a really good feeling for the seller to have when they are looking at a variety of offers. Having confidence in both the agents and the other team members is key to getting us all to the closing table.
Thanks, Amy. So after all of that work that we do to prepare you, what happens when you do get that accepted offer? It does feel a little bit like a whirlwind. So we try to prepare you as much upfront so that once that offer is signed, you can focus on the property related things. The most important thing to do is to get a copy of that offer document to your lender right away. There are some important dates that we need to meet that are written in your offer. If you're Park Bank pre-approved, most of the loan conditions like pay stubs and bank statements have already been addressed. So we're really focusing on things like ordering the appraisal, having you coordinate setting up your home insurance policy, and things like finalizing the interest rate and the loan amount are things that we do after the offer is accepted. Of course, that all goes into preparing you for that final closing date. that would be the day that you would need to have your down payment funds available in a cashier's check or wire transfer. And you'll need to be present with your ID at the title company to sign all your documents and get your keys. Oftentimes at the title company, buyers and sellers will sit across the table from each other, and your lender and your realtor attend. And so it's kind of a nice, fun way to close everything out and get any final questions back and forth, talk about the neighborhood. It's a really exciting time. So what's your buying timeline? If you're ready to go now, the most important thing to do is choose your lender and get pre-approved. We have a whole selection of qualified mortgage advisors here at Park Bank, or you can apply at apply.parkbank.com. If you're not too sure if now is the time, but you still have questions, information is key, and we are here for you every step of the way, and a good lender is going to work with you to set that plan. So if you think you might want to buy in the next year or the next couple years, it's never too soon to come in and have a conversation and get a plan in place so that you can be sure that you're doing the right things to prepare yourself and make a good decision for your future.
Thank you, Megan and Amy. So, we tried to keep this very simple and a very high level because there is a lot to it and each borrower's situation is unique. So, we'll talk a little bit more after the question and answer, but just to reiterate some of the really important points, starting early is not bad because it gets us a better idea of where you stand now relative to your goals. So I'm going to rely on my partners here to help me navigate what the questions are.
So one of the questions is, how long does it take for your loan to close? So typically in an offer, those contingencies are anywhere from 21 to 35 days to get your final loan commitment. And from there, it's usually anywhere from 5 to 25 days to close. It all depends on when you and the seller want to close. But the contingency to secure your loan has to be done within 30 days for most offers.
Thank you, Amy. Another very common question is, how long does a pre-approval take? And in the mortgage world, pre-approvals do get priority. So what we're trying to do is get those, because we do have to gather documentation in some cases and put it in front of somebody who does evaluate it. We want to make sure we get that done. So we do utilize some of the latest technology to help our borrowers, number one, get their information to us, and then secondly, to get their documentation to us. And in the current environment, we're seeing pre-approvals being turned around same day. In some cases, it might be next day if documentation is a little slow getting to us. But if you know that your home buying journey is going to start on this coming Saturday, you probably want to start talking to a lender sometime Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we have the time necessary to help get your pre-approval prepared for you. So when you do go out and when you do find that right home, you're in the best position possible to make an offer. One of the other questions is, how do I make sure I'm finding the right team, bank, and realtor? Megan and Amy, I'll put you on point for that one.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is you want to find someone that's going to communicate with you in a way that works. I always ask, do you prefer text message, email, phone call? Do you want to do a Zoom? Is in-person preferred? You want to make sure that you're working with someone in the way that you're most comfortable. And you also want someone that is going to answer the phone or respond to messages when you're out shopping, because oftentimes that's going to be evenings and weekends. And so it's important that at least you can have access to someone that will answer a quick question for you while you're in the middle of it, when you need it. So we work hard to make sure that we're doing that. Most lenders have realtors that they work with. But of course, if you have one or the other that you want to, there's no stopping you from bringing someone else in. We're here to help.
And regarding the right realtor, there's lots of realtors out there. So we encourage you to do your research whether it's online, calling realtors, interviewing them, meeting in person, and making sure that you're connecting with them and feeling good about them representing you through the whole transaction. How much money should I be putting down? Is the next question.
Sure, I can take that.
Yeah.
It really depends. We have first-time buyer programs with as little as 3% down, but ultimately the most important thing when I'm talking to a client is how does that monthly payment fit within your budget? So if you tell me you want to put 3% down, but you want to pay this amount per month and you want to buy a house for this amount and the math doesn't work, sometimes we'll need to increase the down payment to get that monthly payment where it needs to be. So the short answer is 3% down, but the deeper question would be, it's very specific to your own situation and what's going to work for your budget. Ultimately, that's the biggest driver in everything that we do, is we want to make sure that you're comfortable with that monthly payment so that you can enjoy your house and your life.
Thank you. And if I might just circle back to choosing the right lender and realtor combination. From the lender perspective, it's at the end of the day, the rate and the cost associated with the rate that you might be getting. That's a whole nother dynamic to this that we think is really critical. And again, we employ some of the best technology to help present the best loan offers to our customers. So it's very easy to get caught up in a posted rate with point that may or may not have points attached to it. And that's all well and good, but we also like to really make sure our customers understand what that means. So what I encourage everyone is, as you're looking at different lenders and you're seeing the rates posted, if nothing else, choosing a lender like a Park Bank mortgage advisor. We love to know where other people in the market are priced. So if we're seeing somebody that's posting something that's lower than us, we want to know about that. So again, there's a reason we chose mortgage advisor for our job titles, because our job is to be here to do just that. So the next question is, how far in advance should I be looking for a home? And I guess I'd look to Amy on that one.
So we have clients that say, we're going to be out of a lease in 2 months. And then we have clients that say, we're looking a year and a half out. So what I always tell people is it's never too early to start the conversation and begin the relationship with a realtor. And that way, when you really feel like you're ready to do it, we are already established and we can jump in looking at houses. You've already established your relationship with your lender and we can just move forward. I would say most people are anywhere from about 4 months out or a little more. Under that, could be a little tight because our inventory is a little low. When the inventory is really high, you can buy pretty quickly because there's a lot of options.
Thank you, Amy. And the last question is, can we elaborate on the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval? And I guess, Megan, would you mind elaborating on that?
Sure. So pre-qualified means that we have talked about your income. Maybe you say, I work at this place and I make this amount per month. And we run some numbers based on that and we look at a credit report. It means that everything sounds okay. A pre-approval means that I've looked at your pay stub to determine how much of your income would be usable. So for example, you might be self-employed and you're bringing home X dollars a month, but the usable income on your tax return is different. The pre-approval means that we have worked through all of that and you are qualified for the program that you're applying for. So that means if we have overtime income or you're getting money as a gift, that's already been discussed and we've determined that it works. A pre-approval means you are solidly underwritten and approved. And
most importantly, I think, to add to what Megan has just said to you, is that it's a commitment to lend subject only to you bringing us a property and what is an appropriate and acceptable property is one that has clear title and doesn't have any really, any large issues to it. We still need, in some cases, to get an appraisal. Sometimes we don't. That's a different process. But for the most part, from a income, assets, and credit standpoint, the bank has evaluated, verified, and is prepared to make that loan. Two more popped up here. If you want to build, is that a whole different process? And yes, that's a great segue to what will be part 3 of our webinar, is a little bit deeper dive into what you might be able to, what you can expect and what that process looks like to build a brand new home from scratch. And then lastly was, what do you say to someone that's afraid to enter the current market? And I would point to Megan and Amy on that one.
Yeah, I think for me, I look at information is power. So it is scary. It's a huge decision. It's a ton of money. It's a big life choice. And the most important thing that you can do for yourself is prepare. And if you get into this and you find out that maybe it's not the right time or it's not for me, that's okay. I think knowing is better than not. And there's no pressure. We're here to guide you and help you make the best decision for yourself.
I totally agree. And I think finding a team that you can trust will help you with that fear, because there's a lot that goes into it. But when you work with people that are experienced and knowledgeable in their fields, it makes your entire transaction a lot easier for you, because you can trust that they're going to guide you through this process in a way that's representing you and is good for you, and you understand all parts that are going on. So knowledge is power. So those conversations, they're never too early to start those conversations. And if it's not right, that's okay too.
Excellent. Thank you. So you've heard us talk about lots of different things here, but how at Park Bank, we really try to help our buyers experience trusted advisors. I have the privilege of working with a team of people just like Megan, who are dedicated to helping people in their home financing needs. We do use some of the best and latest technology to make that application process faster, better, easier. We're local. 99.5% of the loans that we originate, we service them right here at Park Bank. So you know who you're going to be talking to should you have any questions. We talked about rates earlier. We're just as competitive as any of the local, regional, or national players. And we offer a lot of different loan programs for a variety of different scenarios. And in 22, knowing what the market is like, we're offering up to $1,000 off a closing cost for home buyers looking for a primary home that meets certain criteria as we have outlined below. And if you reach out to any of our advisors, they'll be able to walk you through where you can use that opportunity. And then lastly, please feel free to reach out. You see that the team of Park Bankers represented here, and then partners like Amy and the work that she does in the real estate profession to, again, collaborate and bring it all together. So Megan and Amy, any final words, any parting words?
Just like, if you're thinking about jumping into the market, start with a phone call and schedule a time to talk, and we hope to hear from you. We love what we do, and so finding people houses is it's the best part of our jobs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. This is fun for us. We love working with people. We want to help you. Feel free to bring us your questions, and we'll guide you through each step of the process.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan and Amy. Thank you to all of our guests. Please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And good luck on your house or home buying journey.
Thank you.